Previously on Kimba TV. To classify, we're like $30 away, so you should put your stop loss at break even. I'm going to put my stop loss at break even right now. I have an option to shave and put my stop loss behind the lower low and try to add dollar cost average at the golden pocket, or close it at 382 and then re-enter. All right. Baratinha. So I'll see you guys bright and early for PPI. Let's see if there's a RTH or a ETH overnight sweep. All right, Baratinha. Fred says, how do you balance being cryptic and not giving away too much alpha while also sharing alpha helping lion cubs? I just try to tell you as much as I can. I don't think I'm being cryptic, but if you think I am, you should just ask me. And you're one of those people that I know that you're not trolling or anything. So I'll break it down for you. But usually I feel like if you think I'm being cryptic, you missed something. I spent a really long time, like I didn't half-ass this line, chat. And we talked about the importance of having that because it's going to pay off sometime down the road. I didn't half-ass the, I don't know if you got to hear me say like 1077, 1077, but that's the level that I was calling out for CME. And this was kind of like the worst case scenario, like slippage, just in case these guys actually did get started to cascade. Yeah, I think I have to do, sometimes I have to make sure that people that have no fucking idea what they're doing isn't going to fuck themselves over because they're going to just get pissy and it's going to ruin their whole first initial experience, you know? For the like, you may have missed me saying like that would be entry and that would be stop loss, for example. You know what I mean? Like, I already said, I don't really care how low it goes. It's about how quickly it snaps back. And this is something that I'm pretty good at doing. It's like riding a bike. It starts to click at one point, but if you want to play as an SFP and like, I've been waiting for this bitch all day, so it's not that hard for me, I guess. But I even said, like, I don't really care how low it is. This is where sort of what I'm looking at. This is the invalidation no matter what. Yeah, and I'm like, look, I'm looking for structure change on 5 minute. Yeah, is there something that I could have said more explicitly that would have helped you even more, Fred? I said that every single div that we were anticipating, we looked at the hidden CVD bull div, the regular bull div on time frame candles, and they were there. But they're hanging on by a fucking thread. Yeah, so I don't know. But let me know and I can always try to do better. But yeah, I think I'm just always locked in when volatility kicks in because I'm managing like 8 different accounts. You know that, right? Yeah, but like for example, does it really matter if you have a 107.420, 107.5, 107.550, even like a 107.673 long? If you're targeting all-time highs, because any long attempt, as long as you don't lose 104, is for a all-time high, right? I would hope. So, yeah. But have you guys pulled fibs? You want to pull fibs right now? go to 5-minute. And then whatever the reaction, we'll go to bed and we'll regroup. But yeah, so I mean, like Fred, a lot of people are gonna try to long every, from 38205, golden pocket 75886. Any of these long attempts, the invalidation is a lower low. All right, so it matters if they finish the low tonight or if they leave it fucked up so that it's eligible to be cleaned later. Alrighty, but just remember that no matter what I say, I could be dead ass obvious that I'm longing, and if you still don't know what I'm doing or you don't want to take the same trade, that's actually, I'm doing you a favor, I think. That's your own subconscious telling you what you think is best for you or what you truly believe. So I think it's also like there's always a way to extract value out of anything. And if you feel like you don't know what I'm doing, maybe that's an alert that says, why does it even matter? As long as, are you spending as much effort to have your own plans as you are trying to decipher what I'm doing? Because you definitely don't want to spend more time trying to figure out what I'm doing than formulating and doing your own data observation and planning, right? Because that would be goofy. So, yeah. Yeah, but maybe it's also like a way for you to be like, okay, I'm actually not bullish, And the other thing too is, when we were talking about this zone earlier in the day, one of the things that I said was, what are you going to do if these longs still haven't closed? And I think that's the biggest sort of curveball for most people, right? Like whether you're in a long or you're thinking about taking the golden pocket or the 7.5, or whether you're going to get stopped out at the 382 and you're going to enter, whether you still have your longs running from 70, whether you still have your shorts running from 110. None of that really matters, I don't think. Do you think from a market maker's point of view, it would be better to put the bottom in outside of RTH? Who the fuck knows? But I can tell you, I don't know if you've seen this with me, Fred, but I can tell you that we have left lows during ETH, and I have sat there talking about, bro, I'm not taking a long yet because it's a bad low, and I expect it to get swept. And I just sat there with my thumb up my ass when it continued to just make higher highs and higher lows. So I don't know. I think you need to prepare for it to not do that. Yeah, of course you would want RTH. So I'm still hoping that we get an RTH sweep tomorrow and we get the reverse dip the tip. Did you understand what I was saying about how RTH is going to have a big ass bearish gap? And a bearish gap would indicate that you dip a little bit into the gap and then you get out of it to continue to go lower low, right? A lot of people are going to be playing that. So the way to trap that would be to get bottom shorts beyond, lower, swing fail, reverse back up, and then go, and then start closing the gap. Yeah, but most people, when they wake up tomorrow, Wall Street, they're going to look at that bearish gap and go, all right, let's dip the tip. What do you think about all this? So we had the CME box a while ago, right? What do you think about this? Isn't that crazy? You saw me do this earlier in the morning, my guy? Dude, I have pixel fucking bottom. Dude. Can you imagine if I hadn't done the TA, draw the box, streamed for 4 days in advance talking about all this shit? Imagine if I showed up and I was like, hey guys, I have pixel bottom. I can understand why, back in the day, people like Mario would be like, oh, it's gotta be testnet. Like, I can understand, but it's just all math, you know? And it happens all the time, the same shit. I used to think like Mario was like Dora, just like really shitty memory recall. Round Trippa says, haha, lettuce breakfast. I wish I could. Let's get it. Yeah, isn't it crazy? It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm up 6 figures. Yeah, and I'm just smoking weed. Life's not fair. It's crazy. Mr. No Money says, I was looking for BTC long at 106, 150, but now it's gone. Too greedy. Yeah, I told you, have a plan B and plan C. If you could not understand that you theoretically had all of this was eligible to be a chase because that's how you play an SFP, then that's just bad planning. Okay? It's not that you were too greedy. You just had bad planning, Mr. No Money. I told you, do not do some goofy shit like, oh, it fraud ran me by $50. No, it didn't. You had shitty planning. But that's okay. Now you know. Now you know. I missed many trades myself, so. Rhea Johnson says, stopped out overnight and re-entered at RTH sweep. Same thing with me, Rhea Johnson. Yeah, I got stopped out in tiny profit, and I just sat here patiently waiting. Yeah, we identified the sweep level. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's Bugatti money. Hey, how many of y'all bereave? Do I have more bereavers? Hey, Kaitosh, let's go. Chiga, thank you for the 1 gifted. Come on, player. Juice. Shaman says, hello, Kimba. What's your thought process on what level I should anticipate in SFP? Bad highs. Orchata says, Mega Hugo. That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys feel like you're a little bit of a better trader today than you were on Sunday? And it really should have nothing to do with if you're in a long or not. I hope if you're only saying that because you happen to like not get stopped out in a long, I mean, I don't know if it's really genuine, you know. I never want you to feel like you're a better trader just because you're in profits, you know. But lots of stuff in play. You guys saw 7.5. You guys saw volume profile. You guys saw value area low. You guys saw Fibonacci. You guys saw VWAP. You guys saw sweep levels. You guys saw structure change. Daisy, what's going on? On a scale of 0 to 10, how was the week for everybody? Huh? It's got to be testnet, right? 83. Castillo. You guys feel like maybe some people like maybe you don't feel 100% there yet, but do you understand that you have a fighting shot? It doesn't have to be like a glorified gambling scenario. Okay? So, and you know, I don't give a shit if you're in a long or short. Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions, right? I'm rooting for everybody. All right? You good? Mehdi says, Kimba, you narrating PA is something, but you predicting PA is something else. I mean, I wouldn't say it's predicting. I've been wrong plenty of times through the week, and I can't stress enough. Just because we juicing on this one long, don't mean that we did not get round tripped all throughout the week, right, chat? It took a lot of attempts and hard work to get this juice. So, like, let's not get it twisted like we just, you know, it's the first long that we took all week and it was pixel perfect. No. I got round trip 4 times, 5 times. Like, it was hard work. I don't by any means feel like it was easy. Bro, they made me work for every fucking penny. Shout out to that 7.5 pullback. What the fuck? Yeah, but I appreciate the kind words, Mehdi, but I didn't really predict, you know. I told you guys, and we saw together the divs, the structure, the S&P confluence, and the open interest. You know? So, and I think the biggest takeaway is that you can always give yourself a fighting chance, and it doesn't have to be a random coin flip, you know? And there's some people now after, you know, months of getting stopped out, round tripped, left at the train station, finally was able to stick it through and not get got and, you know, still carry the longs. There's going to be lion cubs that did fantastic taking the long, but, you know, still trying to do the right thing. They got papinked and left at the train station, right? How many lion cubs got left at the train station? You were in the first long, but god damn, they got you at the 7.5. Brother, I've been there. Castillo, you got at the 7.5. It's all good, bro. Did you have a chance, okay, Castillo, to chase it here? So this is the 7.5, right? I wouldn't be like too mad if you got stopped out or you didn't take that one, right? But what am I going to say? Is any of this appealing to you? Because you understand that if this is going to be support, it will breach this. And then you're talking about all of this cascading. So you almost kind of had a chance to chase it too. So that's the way that I would look at it next time if you do get got down there. Yeah. And it's really about genuinely, honestly accepting the fact that they're gonna try to get you, right? So having like a backup plan. Do you know what I mean? Lab M's have stopped out in tiny profit and re-enter. That's okay. Nice. Yeah. Spicy 69 Taco says, I got in 108. Nice. And at this point, I don't give a shit if you're in a long or short. I never have and I never will. You know, all I ask is that you guys plan, prepare, anticipate. Don't just fucking decide what to do like impulsively, because I think you're going to lose money doing that. I used to lose money doing that. So let's get this juice, man. Anybody that's in a long right now feel like maybe in the past they wouldn't have longed there? Or you would have gotten stopped out, or you would have gotten round tripped, or you wouldn't have re-entered, or you wouldn't have been able to pull the 7.5, or you wouldn't have been able to know. But this time it was different. Like, and be honest, because it's okay if you say, you know, one thing, but look at your unrealized profits. Now think about you are better than what you were in the past. Which one makes you more happy? Be honest. Maybe you guys are on some like 100x leverage, like mega juice. I don't know. Some people, money. But building good habits, being prepared, you know, managing risk, having a plan B, C, like really being thorough and being good at all of the things that is required of you to be a good trader. It's got to feel good, right, chat? You understand why I sound like a crackhead with Tourette's? Why does this guy always yelling? Don't need to do any more. I'll kick it with you for like another hour and we can see where the CME gap is. Sounds good? Is there anything that you want to talk about? There is a potential here for a scalp long. It's still below the level where I would be like, okay, we're bullish. Okay, but other than that, I mean, I wouldn't like try to scalp short. You should have been in a short from the gap fill. So, yeah, but it's level to level. So there is a bearish retest opportunity. If you're just looking at this 886, right, you can either get rejected at the 7.5 or the golden pocket. That would probably be better, like a VWAP golden pocket rejection, bearish retest. So if you were going to short, I think that would be a lot better place to look at. Anything you want to talk about, Danny? Shout outs to you, Danny. Thank you for the 200 gifted, big dog. Bugatti money. It's got to be testnet. It's got to be testnet. Yeah. Anything you want to talk about, let me know, okay, Danny? There's a way that you can chase a scalp short. You know, obviously a scalp long is literally smack dab in your face right now. So what do you think about this $105,787.37? Were you here when we put that line? You just drew that. Yeah, and then, you know, confluence with the Fibonacci, so. Let's get it. Dave Demon says the ultimate long should be at 104.2. Yeah, no, I mean, for me, that's kind of starting to get a little bit bearish, right? We are now 3 tiers below where we initially thought, which is okay, right? 108.8, 107.7, and the 106.6. So, you know, yeah. But it's okay. I'm still locked in. I'm always thinking about worst case scenario, so they're not going to get me. No losses, tiny P, nothing wrong with tiny P. Yeah, and so shout outs to Danny for gifting 200 subs. I'll kick it with you guys for Macaulay. And so this is like our 6th attempt now. Yeah, probably going a little bit too degen, but Aurum says such a juicy day. Yeah, man. We're taking shots. We're doing it live. The math is the math. I think the preparation is pretty Gucci Magucci. Yeah, sometimes it's going to be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks good and it's like, but I mean, if anything, for a lot of OGs and veterans, it's a great reminder that you always want to shave and you always want to be thinking worst case scenario. Yeah. But not too bad, and every single thing that we did the right thing. We put stop loss at break even, tiny profit shaved, even if it was 1%, 2%. So still a good day. Yeah. I just wish that we had more than this bullshit from ES. This kind of fucked us up. Fucked me up anyways. So this was ass. That sucked. All right. Does it want to grab all the single prints? Yes or no, chat? Bugatti. Ooh. Lusky says, is it all right to wait for tomorrow's RTH gap and Monday? Not into trading Macaulay? 100%. That's what I would recommend, Lusky. The reason why you're also asking me that is because you haven't seen it enough times yourself. So I want you to really start paying attention to overnight lows, overnight highs, weekend lows, and take a look at not just the CME resumption of ETH, Take a look at what happens, RTH when there's like a bad high or a bad low. Very high probability it'll clean it. I'm already looking at that low and I'm thinking to myself, man, a clean of that right off of naked point of control would be nice. Yeah. But I'm already trying a little thang. Aurum says true, but on the long run, one of these longs will be all we need. Yeah, and the whole thing is whether it's 106, 104, 105, 98, right? 95, 92. I'm ready to long all that shit. I think we can all sit here and talk about 92, 93, 94, 95, and that's like the easy one, right? But there is the what if where it front runs all of y'all, all of us. So there's still like a scenario where you have to consider maybe it's not going to go as low as 95 like everybody wants, or 93. So, yeah. But yeah, stay safe, especially if you're doing some leverage shit. You know what I mean? Danny says, Kimba, I'm still a noob in perps. Spot strategies for me on MTF is way easier for me. Yup. Thanks to you and your advice 6 months ago. Let's go, Danny. Yeah. Well, I'll still narrate the derivatives and the perpetual stuff. So right now, okay, let's say, for example, you asked me, what are the chances that we're going to go to the naked point of control and clean the bad low right there? I would say, for example, the chances are high we're going to do that if you leave the single prints behind. So if the bulls reclaims those single prints, the bears, in essence, lose all the edge that they just had in the last hour or so. Okay, if the bulls get back above 106.3, now you're looking at a failed auction or a swing fail on a higher time frame. And if we get back above 107 to 108, juice. All right, and then losing 104 would mean probably 98. So all of those haven't really changed, Danny. Monessa, what's going on, Monessa? Easy money, Bugatti money. Any questions? Ace, any questions? Lurson says, is this not same concept FG? Yes. Dark Alien got stopped down a long, but shorts are juicing. Yeah, there's a chase. How cool is this? Yeah, and how many of you guys remember that red line? Yeah, so if it really is bullish, it should do blank. If it really is bearish, it should do blank. No guesses here. I will let the markets tell me what they want to do. But we juicing on these hoes, chat. Hey, so Danny, if I were to ask you what's the highest probable outcome right now, would you be able to tell me this to here? And you see the VWAP? And so if it gets rejected from here, for example, like this, that's extra bearish than going up there and getting rejected. If it gets rejected here, what's the next level that you would be looking at? Please go on 1 day chart. Sure. What's up? Um, fib pivot, yeah, I bet you could draw a whole bunch of fibs that have a bearish narrative and a bullish narrative. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, bears, we're all lions. Last day of the week, so let's do our best. I'll be here. I might poke my head in later tonight, but if we don't see each other later tonight, then I'll see you guys bright and early pre-market tomorrow for a little 15-second alpha TA. We'll just probably scalp the RTH gap, and we'll decide if we want to fade it like we did today or if we want to go with it. So volume and how we react at settlement, value area low, that'll be the first thing that we regroup tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So, all right, Houston and Cage, take it on. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Have a great night, everybody. 3, 2, 1, ka-chai!